Voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160, 101.1 FM. We are Indiana in the Morning, brought to you by First Commonwealth Bank. We are joined this morning in the studio for representatives of the upcoming Northern Appalachian Folk Festival in downtown Indiana, just a couple of weeks away. Jim Daugherty is with us, Laura Jeffrey, and who's this fellow in the middle? How'd he get in this group?
Hey, I've been there since the beginning.
Yes, you have.
Since day one with Professor Daugherty over here. And we're proud to be, have it all in Indiana too, downtown Indiana.
Tony DiLoretto is that third voice that we're listening from. Well, gang, welcome this morning to Indiana in the Morning. I know you've been hard at work, and it's almost time once again for the Northern Appalachian Folk Festival.
Yes. This got started back in 2013, and this will be our 7th year. Mm-hmm. It mirrors other festivals. It does and it doesn't. We're educational. We're regional. We have unique things such as a Walk of Fame. We have films. In fact, we're kicking off our festival on Thursday, September 5th, at the Indiana Players Theater. And I'm showing a documentary on the Robert Shaw plant closing. Some people might remember the closing of the Robert Shaw plant in 1982. I did this documentary. It was part of my master's thesis. Mm-hmm. And so I'm dredging that out and dusting that off a little bit. And for our music, we're going to start out with Coastal Remedy, a local band. And then Jim Donovan and the Sun King Warriors. They're kind of like a central Pennsylvania band. And a group called Brownie Mary, which is going to have a reunion concert. On Saturday, we start out with the Walk of Fame. And we're inducting 4 new people. Nellie Bly, a famous journalist from the 19th century who actually had IUP connections. John Brophy, who is going in under human rights. He was a famous United Mine Worker official in the 1920s. For the environment, we're going to induct the Hellbenders. The Hellbenders are a environmental group from Grant Township. And they have some issues with a injection well that's being proposed for them. They're very concerned about their water. And then we have Mr. Jim Rogers, who was very active in WIUP FM and was a professor in the communications media department. And finally, we're going to induct the IUP women's basketball team.
Now, tell me a little bit more about the Walk of Fame. Is there physically a Walk of Fame that people can go up and take a look at?
Yeah, well, we have bricks.
Okay.
And we inscribe the names of the people. And the categories that we have are education, human rights, the environment, the arts, and now sports. And what we're trying to do is recognize people in our region that have made significant contributions in each one of those areas.
Mm-hmm. And this is the 3rd year for the Walk of Fame, and it's starting in front of Spaghetti Benders, and it's going to work its way down. Hopefully, go down one side of the block, and 100 years later, come down the other side of the block.
So, if we go down there today, there are already some bricks in there.
And also last year, Jim was instrumental in getting the Jim Nance plaque out here in front of the courthouse through the Northern Appalachian Folk Festival.
Mm-hmm. And one thing we want to thank our sponsors real quick too. Iron City Beer is one of our major sponsors, and so is Delaney Automotive Group. We'd like to thank Jack Delaney and the Iron City Beer people for being sponsors of the major sponsors for the festival this year.
You think there'll be a time when that skinny kid from Vinegar Hill who has the little place across the street will be part of that? Of course, that's Jimmy Stewart. Right. My grandmother used to refer to him as that. She'd turn on the TV and she'd say, "There he is again, that skinny kid from the top of the hills on TV again." She'd be watching one of his movies.
Right.
Is that something to possibly down the road?
We'll have to talk.
Could be a part of that.
Talk about that. Yes.
Okay. Now we have. You mentioned some of the bands
Right.
that will be coming, and one band that is particularly, I think, very popular with local folks. The band that started out here at IUP, the Clarks,
Right.
will be making an appearance this
This will
year.
be their homecoming again. They played last year, and we're bringing them back by popular demand. And they packed them in last year.
Yeah.
Very successful.
Now the main stage area will be located in the same section again this year,
Of
Okay.
Philadelphia.
and that's going to have entertainment for most of the entire festival, isn't
Right.
it?
Entertainment, we're gonna have lots of vendors this year. Last year, we only did it one day, but this year we're gonna have lots of vendors on Saturday too, and we're gonna have a kid zone and in front of the fire station. The Indiana Volunteer Fire Department was kind enough to put the kid station in front of the fire station. So this will be a lot of fun, lots for everybody to do.
Yeah,
Arts-
and we'd like to thank the Children's Advisory Committee and the Evergreen After School Club for providing that service for Children's Alley.
Our topic this morning here on Indiana in the Morning is the Northern Appalachian Folk Festival coming to downtown Indiana September the 6th and the 7th. And this is something that benefits the entire Indiana community and area, isn't it?
That's correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. And we're proud that our vision is to someday hopefully be the Northern Appalachian Folk Festival be one of the best festivals in the state of Pennsylvania. So we're in our 7th year now. We've been growing every year, and we just hope to continue it because we want to bring business to downtown Indiana. We want to bring people to downtown Indiana so they can see what kind of community Indiana is and have people want to come join us.
Is there a statewide award that they present? You said you want to be the best. Is there a best
Not to
festival
my
in the
knowledge.
state? Well, you guys could start one.
That's right.
Nominate yourself,
That's right.
There,
you
there's
go.
a plan.
I
right?
like that idea.
Laura, do you want to say something about the vendors?
Yeah, so we're happy this year. We're going to have over 30 vendors. Varieties of jewelry, soaps, candles, hippie clothes, dog supplies, oils. Kids can make stuffed animals. Wood. We're going to have 3 demonstrations. Also, we're going to have the saw cutting demonstration. We're going to have chainsaw demonstrations. And we're working on the 3rd. We yet to be announced. We're also going to have Walter Schroth's Jeeps up there. He's agreed to bring 2 of his Jeeps. We're going to put the World War II Jeeps that he took over to Normandy. We're going to put those in front of the American Legion. And I also want to thank another one of our big sponsors, and that's Renda Broadcasting. Thank you very much for all the support you give us.
Now, how hard is it as a group to decide your music selections? I know there's people that you would hope would be able to come, but I would think that's a pretty time-consuming task, is it not?
Yes. And also, I want to mention that we have workshops.
Yeah.
We're going to have 4 workshops that range from tips on growing garlic to an informative workshop on the hellbenders from Grant Township that'll give us an update on what they're doing. And also, we have 2 new features. During the Walk of Fame, after we install the bricks, we're going to have a dove release. So we're going to get 6 doves. There's a business in Apollo that furnishes doves for special events. And another is that we're going to have a chalk the walk that is going to be an all ages kind of event from kids to adults. And the theme for the chalk for the walk is the hellbender. The hellbender is a large salamander. It's like maybe 2 feet long, and it doesn't bite.
It's friendly.
It looks like it can, but it's nice. It's a nice salamander.
It's ugly.
Now, I know that another highlight is something we've been talking about for several weeks. You're going to be bringing the wall that heals
That's correct.
to the festival as well, right?
Yep. Laura,
Well,
you
that's
wanna
actually
say
coming. That's actually coming in October. So that's
Okay.
coming October 10th through 13th down to Mack Park. And go ahead.
And there's a lot of community involvement with this too. A lot of people have been interested and want to see how they can volunteer. We still could use volunteers. It's a nonprofit wall that travels the country, and it's only going to be in Pennsylvania once this year, or is it?
Right.
Yeah. So This nonprofit wall is only going to be in Pennsylvania. It's closest to the original size, and it's made out of the same material, which there's a couple other walls that travel around it that don't do that.
And I understand there were 41 men from our area who are part.
41
Their
men
names are on that
are
wall.
KIA or MIA from the Indiana area who have their names on that wall. And so we certainly are proud to be able to bring homecoming for those men. And also, so the 8th of October, which is a Tuesday evening, that's when the wall arrives in Indiana, PA. So we're asking to line Philadelphia Street. The wall is going to arrive with about 100 motorcycles leading it in. And it's going to come down Philadelphia Street about 4:30 p.m. So we're asking all the area businesses and the area, community to come out and support this and welcome home our boys that lost their life at the Vietnam War.
And you're always looking for local groups and organizations to be a part of the festival, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do they do that if maybe they'd like to get on board for next year?
Yeah, they visit our website, www.nafinc.org. There's a contact us on that. So our website again is www.naffinc.org.
Okay, again, it's the Northern Appalachian Folk Festival, September 6th and 7th in downtown Indiana, and we'll be presenting lots more information in the coming weeks. And we want to thank Jim, Laura, and Tony for joining us this morning here on Indiana in the Morning. And we'll be taking